by some friend in our comment section. His Osmo Action 3 is quite good compared to what our unit is. One of the things that I noticed is he shoots his videos in 4K mode. So just to check, I will be doing this whole video in 4K mode. Actually today, my plan is to do an audio test with a microphone, but I'll probably postpone it and do this 4K mode test instead. Oopsie. A lot of dogs there. So that would be our plan today. So in this spot, it's a bit sunny, so this would be a good test on the autofocus. So we will be shooting in 4K, and then we will downgrade it to 1080p in post. So let's see if there's any difference. So I tried to move from the bright spot to something a little bit dimmer here, and while we walk in 4K 30 FPS with Rocksteady on. This time we are shooting in wide field of view. Previous video is in ultra wide, 4K 30 FPS, Rocksteady on. Okay, we're trying to go against the light. Then we'll to a dimmer spot while walking. Okay, that's wide field of view. Now this is standard D warp, 4K 30 FPS, Rocksteady on. Okay, it's the camera is around 10 inches away from my face. This is ultra wide mode. It's a bit further this time, around probably 20 inches from my face. So hopefully you can see any difference. Can't see here. Now this is wide, 20 inches away from my face. As you can see in the shadow, that's the Osmo Action 3 while we walk. Now this is standard D warp, 20 inches from my face. Walking, talking headshot. Try to move it around. I believe this FOV shows the autofocus problem compared with the ultra wide. So we will try to find a place, a spot. We will sit down and let's discuss this thing. So this is 4K 30 FPS ultra wide lens. And as you can see, am I separated from the background? So it's a bit far from me, around 10 inches. Now this is 1080p 30 fps, and that this is the quality. I'm not sure, I can't properly view if I'm in focus, but we will try to see side by side between this and the 4K. So now this is wide in 1080p 30 frames per second. Now this is 4K 30 frames per second wide lens. So this is the quality. This is standard D warp 4K 30 frames per second. Is it clear? I'm still not sure. 4K 30 frames per second. This is 1080p 30 frames per second standard D warp. So this is the video quality. Okay, so we were filming it at the Ayala Triangle Park, and the guard told me to stop filming, and it is not allowed to do any filming in the park. So I was surprised that I needed a permit. Good thing he did not deleted most of the videos. I'm just testing this Osmo Action 3, that's why I was surprised. Okay, how will they promote that area? Oh, okay. So setting that aside, let's go back to the Osmo Action. Filming now in 4K 30 frames per second. I was not able to do those. I was supposed to do a test for subjects that are a bit far from the camera, so we would know if there's a difference in the quality when we change the focal point to wide and to standard D warp, but we were not able to do so. So basing on the small screen of this action cam, I cannot see any difference on the quality of the 1080p and the 4K. Now if we change the field of view, it seems to me, by looking at this very small screen, is that the standard D warp really is not that sharp. But when it comes to the ultra-wide lens or the ultra-wide FOV, the quality is a bit sharp, as well as the background. Also, there's a really big difference if you will use this on a bright area. I think the video that I watched yesterday, he shot his video really on a bright sunny day. Probably that created those very sharp image. You can see the lines of his image not that blurry, so probably that is one reason, which is why it's better compared to my videos, because most of the time when I shoot this, especially the one that I was in the mall, the light is a bit dim, so I think the Action 3 is really struggling on low light situations. And yeah, everything in this video is shot in 4K that I don't usually do. We will try to upload it in 4K as well. I hope my laptop will be able to do the rendering quite quickly, because it's struggling in 1080p already. But at least we will know if there's really a problem with this Action 3. Oh, by the way, some of those retailers here in the Philippines already stopped pre-ordering until this autofocus issue is resolved, because most likely a lot of people have already received the first batch, and they have probably a similar case with us. I saw there are some people who are saying that their units doesn't have this autofocus issue. Good for them, but really I had this problem, and it's really annoying, especially if you want a GoPro quality video. This is an action cam, so I'm not expecting it to be as good as a mirrorless or a compact camera, but at least it can do some shots that are really not that blurry. I'm really sad about this. I had a lot of plans in mind, which is why I canceled the video at that park. You know what I like about that park is that there are a lot of trees. When you walk, the trees will move with you, so you would have a good indicator if there is blurry videos. But I was stopped. So instead of doing that, I'm ranting now on this video. Since we were not able to continue the video this morning because we were called out by the guard on duty, we will do the test at home. And since we want to be a bit scientific this time, this is the current setup that we did. Okay, so I placed some boxes there. Actually, a YouTuber also did this. I would just check if it happens to me as well. We put some boxes in the front. We put a measuring tape. I placed this light on the boxes so that they are as bright as possible, because I had this I think the brightness of your subject would increase its sharpness with the Osmo Action 3. Let's see if it will happen. Also, we will try to move the camera probably by tens. Yeah, let's go near 20 centimeters, and let's go beyond 20 centimeters if anything, any changes will happen. Okay, this is 4K 30 frames per second, ultra wide FOV, 20 centimeters away from the subject. Okay, hope you can read it clearly. Okay, this is the worst scenario, because if we go beyond 20 centimeters, I think it would really be very, very blurry. Okay, 4K 30 frames per second, 10 centimeters away from the subject. Okay, 10 centimeters. Yeah, everything is bright. 4K 30 frames per second on a standard D-Warp FOV. And yeah, let's try to move the lights. Let's see if there will be changes in how sharp the images will be. I'll try to remove. Okay, Rocksteady is off. "4K 30 frames per second, Rocksteady off, standard D-Warp, 20 centimeters from the subject." Moving the lights. Turning it away. Okay, this is 4K 30 frames per second. Standard D warp. Yes. 40 centimeters away from the subject. Moving the lights. Okay. Four K 30 frames per second, 80 centimeters away from the subject, and standard D warp FOV. Four K 30 frames per second, 80 centimeters away from the subject, ultra wide field of view. So let's try. This is an eyeglass. It's around uh, 80 centimeters away. Okay, so with that, 4K 30 frames per second. Okay. Okay, now this is 1080p. Okay. Okay. Let's try to go near around 20 centimeters. Okay. Okay. This is 1080p. Okay. Now this is 4K 30 frames per second, around 20 centimeters away. Eyeglass. Remove eyeglass. Okay. All right. This is 4K 30 frames per second, 20 centimeters away from this boxes. I have this Ulanzi wide angle lens. Let's see if there is a change in the quality if you place it near the lens. Okay. So that is with the lens on top of this. Okay. So since we are not able to do that video, I'll just show you the whole Makati here. And alright, so we will end the video here. We will do some similar tests again, probably on a different area where it is okay and it is safe to do videos. And hope to see you around, and happy filming. Bye bye. Okay, before I end this video, I would really commend Action 3 for this good audio without any external microphone. So on the next video, we will try to do a test with using an external mic, a Rode wireless mic, and the internal microphone. But for now, I think this is a good audio, and it's really loud, considering that I'm just talking directly to the action cam. This stereo microphone is really something.